the big debate on Tahawwur Rana. Ladies and gentlemen,
to announce that my administration has approved the extradition of one of the plotters and one of the very evil people of the world, and having to do with the horrific 2008 Mumbai terrorist attack, to face justice in India. So he's going to be going back to India to face justice.
ladies and gentlemen, India's most wanted, the man Donald Trump described as most evil, can't evade India's Qanoon ke haath. The Modi-Trump Dosti has delivered just 2 months after the two leaders met in the United States. Tahawwur Rana is being extradited to India. Yes, viewers, Tahawwur Rana, the butcher of 26/11 Mumbai terror attack, who has the blood of 166 people on his hands. He is going to land in India in just a few hours from now. A private jet carrying him is en route to India. He tried every trick in the book to evade his extradition, but Modi Sarkar's relentless efforts since 2019 have ensured that law catches up with him. For India, this is a fresh hope to nail the big fish still shielded by Pakistan. This diplomatic masterstroke has been lauded by the 26/11 survivors who were injured by one of the bullets rained by Kasab. Devika, who was just 9 years old at the time, had bravely identified Kasab in court. But the opposition is still targeting Modi government, asking why it took 14 years to bring Rana back to India. Congress was also quick to claim credit, asserting that it was actually the UPA Sarkar which initiated the progress. In fact, the opposition looks only towards scoring political brownie points, not remembering the fact that Digvijay Singh gave a clean chit to Pakistan even at the time the scars of this terror attack were fresh, and blamed RSS instead. With Tahawwur Rana set to land in India, the question is, has Mazboot Bharat now spooked Vipaksh?
यूएस से खारिज कर दिया गया है, इसलिए तो सबसे बड़ी खुशी की बात हो गई है कि उसे जल्द से जल्द भारत लाया जाएगा। तो इस बात से बड़ी जीत हमारी कोई नहीं है कि हमें और आतंकवाद के खिलाफ सबूत मिलेगी। और पाकिस्तान में आज भी कहीं ना जाने कितने आतंकवाद बैठे हैं और उसके मन में क्या चल रहा है, क्या प्लानिंग चल रही है, वो हमें किसी को नहीं पता। शायद इसके आने से इंफॉर्मेशन और मिलेगी। 26/11 के टाइम पे इन्होंने क्या प्लानिंग किया था, कैसे किया था, ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन मिलेगी।
ताहौर राणा को लाने में 14 साल लग गए। यूपी सरकार में कसाब को पकड़ के एग्जीक्यूशन का काम कांग्रेस के ज़माने में ही हो गया था, आपको 14 साल लग गया।
ये सही बात नहीं है। कांग्रेस की सरकार थी तब से ये हो गया है। ऐसा है 26/11 का जो ये हुआ हल्ला हुआ, उसको ठीक ढंग से जांच करना, वहाँ ठीक ढंग से सारी बातें करना, कानूनी बातें करना, ये कांग्रेस ने किया है।
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate with Ajay Alok, Tehseen Poonawalla and Vivek Srivastava is Major Gaurav Arya, Editor-in-Chief of Chanakya. And Gaurav Arya, how big a victory for the diplomatic efforts of India, the return of Tahawwur Rana is?
Thank you for inviting me, Navika, to your show. I think this is massive. I think it's massive. And I heard some of the statements that were there before the show started in which people said, Samajwadi Party or Congress, it doesn't matter. The Prime Minister does not work for the BJP. The Prime Minister works for the people of India. I think it's a big victory for India across political parties. Very well done to the Prime Minister. Very well done to the Foreign Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar. And one more thing, that we'll come to know about the plotters. That is true. That he'll be interrogated in India, he'll be put to trial, and whatever the judges decide, that will be done. But we must also understand, what are we going to do once we know? I think that is what I, as an analyst, would be very keen to know, Navika, that once we come to know who are the perpetrators, and we already know. So let us say there is some sort of a ratification from this guy saying that, okay, yeah, the ISI was involved, then what will our next steps be? That is something that I'd be interested. But having said that, I think this is a time of celebration. The plane is going to land tomorrow afternoon. That's what I hear from the media. And I think many congratulations to all of us. I think it's very, very well done. Fantastic job.
Vivek Srivastava, would you like to congratulate the Prime Minister today for unrelentingly following this effort to bring back Tahawwur Rana, including raising this issue at the most recent meeting with the new President of the United States, President Donald Trump?
Yeah, see, I mean, yes, we should congratulate the government, but then you should start congratulating the Congress party also and the government at that time which started the proceedings. I mean, you cannot just be exclusive and say, "Hey, मेरा भारत महान, अरे tariff war चल रहा है, आपका बुरा हाल है, stock markets crash हो गए." कौन सा महान भारत मोदी साहब ने बनाया है? ये केस चला, केस का रिजल्ट आया है, and the fellow has been extradited. Yes, we should praise the Prime Minister, we should praise the government, but let us not go overboard in our enthusiasm. Let us be realistic in the analysis. You are not a Vishwaguru. You stopped Trump from his tariff war, which is affecting us so badly. Where are you? I mean, does the BJP spokesperson have a line on that? There is no line. This was a case that was going on. We won the case. The extradition has come. There was a legal process involved. And then our governments had been fighting. The case started when the Congress was in power. So I don't think that going overboard and saying that Modi is, is symbolic of what India is today needs to be said. I'm very clear about it, and let us see.
Yes.
I mean, when he comes over there, as
you're very clear about it, and that's why it's important that the viewers heard your point of view. Ajay Alok, इसमें भी कोई victory नहीं है. After all, tariff war is more important than Tahawwur Rana, a man who was the mastermind of the entire terror attack in Mumbai, in which 166 people lost their lives, and India was brought down to its knees, so to speak. Alok, even Ajay Alok ji, even today, they will not give an inch.
Navika ji, Navika ji, please don't be surprised at Vivek Srivastava's outburst. He's in shock today. Because his parent country, China, has got a 118% tariff and India is only suffering with 26%, which we are negotiating and which will come to a very good conclusion very soon. And the Indian stock market has already started recovering all around the globe. But he's shocked with the China's performance. Anyway, I'm not interested in that. What is most important thing that this is a massive diplomatic victory, like what Major Gauravarya said, and it is a massive intelligence victory for us. Because what is going to happen next is not that important, Major Saab. We all know ISI was behind this. The main purpose of extraditing him, that who were the Indian helper, who were the sleeper cells in India, where Tihar, and that's what is rattling these people. Those who are shouting what took 14 years and what took 12 years. Who were those persons? What was that caucus that which helped Tahir Munawar or people like ISI? They get help from within India. All this is going to come very soon. This is a massive victory. Imagine we were kind of a country just 1 year, 6 months before when the Trump administration came. We openly knew what fueled the crisis in Bangladesh. How Joe Biden was acting against the interests of India. How we were denied, how there was a veto against a known terrorist by China in UN Assembly. All this we have seen. And how we have come ahead today in the global world positioning, that the US President, yes, he acceded to Prime Minister, and the courts, they also did a very swift judgment, and thanks to the US courts, and that's what our External Affairs Minister has done today. So I'm extremely proud of my government and my agency.
Do you think it is rather cussid of the Samajwadi Party spokesperson Amit Jamai and Vivek Srivastava tonight to say, what have you done? Tahawwur Rana is coming 14 years too late back to India, and the fact that the UPA government, Kasab was hanged several years ago. Is this the manner on which a national victory is debated by opposition parties?
Navika ji, at the onset, let me congratulate every single Indian. I lost a very close childhood friend in 2611 on the extradition of this piece of filth who's coming back to India. Major Gauravarya, thank you for your services. Sorry, I forgot to wish you. This is professional job by the Indian services, from the foreign service to our intelligence agencies. For your viewers, Rana was first arrested in 2009. He was convicted in 2013 in the US, but it is a massive victory victory that we've got an extradition out of him. He will be the third person who will now meet his fate after Ajmal Kasab, Abu Jundal, Gaurav Arya ji, Major Arya will know about him, was also arrested, and he gave us a lot of links. So that's Ansari's real name. This guy helped David Headley in setting up the operations in 2611. He was in fact in Mumbai in 2611. He stayed at Hawaii. So it's glad that he's back. 2020, we had suffered a setback when he was released, but congratulations to the present government also. They pursued the case. We've got him back. It does not matter whether it was the late Manmohan Singh or it's Modi ji. The fact that this piece of filth is here, it's not that we should now let jingoism go up. We must investigate this guy because he's provided logistical support. He was a doctor in the Pakistani army, and how a doctor could do this. So we must get that information so that no such further attack takes place. It is doses given from 2009 when he was arrested until now. Congratulations to all governments, including the Prime Minister Modi.
Well, Ajay Alok, in 2020 he was released, and then again being brought to India. It's almost as if it's a footnote in the entire statement made by Tehseen Poonawalla, where he congratulated the government. I just want to ask you to continue to doggedly raise this issue at the highest levels. Isn't that also a very, very important part of this extradition that we've now got? Because that's when the scales were tipped.
It's not a matter of extradition only from the United States. If you look at the foreign policy of the Prime Minister, right from last 10 to 11 years, you will see a paradigm shift. I'd rather say a tectonic shift in India's foreign policy and India's foreign relations with either West or East, or even with our neighbors. We are able to exert ourselves, and we are not able to pressurize anyone. But we are able to exert ourselves, and people are concerned about security needs. Look at the statement made by the Sri Lanka's Prime Minister recently. Will not allow even an inch of Sri Lanka's land to be used against India. And the same thing about Maldives. Bangladesh will also come to terms. So everything is happening. I think it's good for the security of the country, and if on this also people have some political aspersions, then shame on them. Please go and cry in China. I have only suggestions for people like Vivek Srivastava.
Gaurav Arya, I want to ask you, unless a state puts its might behind a certain extradition, do these things happen routinely? Yes, it's a diplomatic victory. Yes, there is a lot of effort that has been put in by the NIA, has been put in by our agencies. But unless these matters are followed up at the highest level in the government, is it easy to get these extraditions?
I would say it's impossible. Without tenacity, without consistency. You see, there would have been a group functioning within the government of India whose only job was this. You be after this day after day after day after day. And finally, this is a result of a labor of more than a decade that we have managed to get him back to India. So there are a couple of points that I'd like to make here. It's very easy to say that, it doesn't matter. Of course it does. When was the last time this happened? A Pakistani army officer, part of a Lashkar-e-Taiba module, a Canadian citizen, goes to the United States of America, friend of David Headley, in prison in Los Angeles. And then we managed to get him out of there. It was extremely difficult, this entire task, simply because he was, he was a captive, if I may say so. He was a prisoner of the US judicial system. And US is a superpower. They don't take very kindly to these things. We managed to convince them. And tomorrow he's landing here. I think we must understand how phenomenal this entire thing is. And I'm not from the BJP. And I'm not from any political party. I pretty much don't care. But you must give credit where credit is due. And I think hats off to our agencies, hats off to the foreign minister, to the leadership of the Prime Minister, everybody. I mean, this is the Tahawwur Rana. We never thought we'll get him. I never personally, this is exactly how I felt. I was sitting in a television studio when Mr. Amit Shah said on the floor of the parliament that, 370 and 35A, are no longer going to be a part of the Indian Constitution. I was flabbergasted at that point in time. I said, how can this happen? And this is that kind of moment. How can this happen? It wasn't easy. Yes, people in the opposition will say, and they have every right. They have every right, and I think what Vivek Srivastava is saying, he has got every right. He has got every
Vivek
right to say.
Srivastava, yes, you have the right,
Credit
but
where it's
once
due.
in a while, standing up and being one with the mood of the country, does that really happen to you easily, or is it very difficult?
Let's not, no, let's not misguide the country. Let's not let the nation know the truth. Let's not make this country a colony of the Americans and the Israelis. Let us not change the government policies
So you want,
the way India
what do you
thought
want?
and the idea of India from Nehru to Vajpayee when we supported Palestine. I want this government to stop taking false credit. It was a judicial process. Every country tries its own diplomatic pressures, but finally
Anything good for the country, he gets
way of
dehydrated.
thinking. Mr. Modi is not great a man. Yes.
Well,
No, it's not dehydrated. Don't try to.
it's always a sour moment for some who should be celebrating India's victory. Why is it so sour for parties in the opposition? I don't quite know. Which doctor can analyze this behavior? Also, I can't know, but I leave that to the imagination of our viewers tonight. With that, thank you very much on this debate for joining me, Gaurav Arya, Ajay Alok, Tehseen Poonawalla and Vivek Srivastava. And with that, it's a wrap on the Newshour tonight. Big day tomorrow. Tahawwur Rana already airborne, likely to land in India sometime in the afternoon hours. We'll keep you updated and we'll keep you completely on the track with that story all day on Times Now. Don't forget to join us starting 6 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
The News Hour at 9.